we're gonna get this special discussion started here. Greetings. This is I'm Brother Eric. I'm a rail car repairman out of Howard Shop.
I'm Brother Andre Thompson, bus operator out of 103rd Street. And, we just want to talk to the members about what we see, what we feel, what we understand. And what we understand is the union is giving out proposals for the CTA and not proposals for the membership. That's an insult. That's a problem. And that's an indication that the contract is done, in my opinion. Eric?
Yeah. It's Now I'm new compared to you. I'm a baby here compared to you, Brother Andre, and a lot of other people watching. But when I started, the 2019 contract was being voted on, and so I was actually still in training when when the voting was going on, and I got the tentative agreement in hand, and it was so well written and so neat. It was definitely written by a lawyer. And after looking back in retrospect, looking at how our union presidents write, I've seen them write. I was like, no way they could have written this.
Right.
I'm not saying that.
But the lawyers run the union.
The lawyers.
You still got lawyers from
15
15 years ago, still, there's lawyers now. You still got lawyers from three presidents ago in Local 241, still the lawyers now. So the lawyers really, run the local and put things together for the local, and the president's kind of just okay it.
And what I saw was, they're like, yeah, the CTA wants to take away this. Like, the CTA wants employees. It was like outrageous stuff. CTA wants employees to lift dumpsters of garbage and with one hand. It was just ridiculous things. But we fought them, and then it became, by the time you finish reading it, it was, well, we didn't win anything, but we didn't lose anything.
Right.
But then when you compare the raises, though, to the previous contract, it is a loss because they were less. See, when you compare the benefits, when you compare that you still have these part-time jobs where people live in poverty, it's a loss because it hasn't changed.
And then they take that poverty back to their neighborhoods, and you work in poverty and you living in poverty. It's just a vicious cycle, and the CTA and the union officials are creating these situations for us as members and as people living in the neighborhoods. It's just crazy to me.
And the sad thing is, the labor unions historically were always about lifting people out of servitude into power and taking power from those who are bloodsuckers of the people.
Mm-hmm.
But our union, the ATU, is more like let's get along. Let's figure out a way to work together so we don't have to fight so much.
Well, it looked like they joined the bloodsuckers. And the left out, the members just out there to drive and to pay union dues. That's what I'm getting. Our current union officials from 308, 241, they have aligned themselves with management. And this is not just with the contract. This is from the very beginning of them taking office. They went right into aligning themselves with management. And pretty much we're locked out. And it's our union. The members are locked out. And the members have to get back in the fight and take the union back from corrupt union officials or union officials who lined themselves up with the management team of CTA.
And this is actually part of our obligation And Vice President Mark Weems made a point at the last union meeting to read that from our bylaws, from our Constitution. Ironically, one of the lines in it says, I will not engage in activity evidencing gross disloyalty. And this includes the union officers. And to give us the contract proposals written by the lawyers representing the Chicago Transit Authority and the City of Chicago, the mayor, that's actually, you are subtly trying to endear us to them, to their greedy, awful proposal. And even though you said to us, even though you all say to us, this includes Ken Franklin, you say to us, well, this is just how it is. That's the problem. The way it is no good. So stop doing what was done before.
And the way it is the way it shouldn't be. And the way it has been is the way it never should be. If we're a union, we need to start behaving like a union and stop behaving like we supposed to be servants or robots of the union officials, the company. We have rights. A lot of the things that we should be doing or a union should be have done, it's not taking place. And just look around you all. We're not doing nothing.
And when we have, part-time bus operator, full-time bus operator, part-time train operator, called a flagman with an RTO qualification, versus full-time car servicer versus part-time, full-time car customer assistant versus full-time. These kinds of things do not promote harmony.
308 member versus 241 member.
308 versus we can't.
One local versus another local. But guess what?
Yeah.
You're in the same union. Local 241, local 308. We one union. And one membership.
You can visit each other's meetings. They'll tell you can't. In fact, this brother right here came to one of our local 308's contract update meetings, and the president tried to kick him out, and I said, hey, that's not according to the Constitution of our union.
ATU Constitution lays everything out for the members.
Yeah.
You need to start getting into that ATU Constitution.
Yes.
And the thing about the ATU Constitution, it's in print, it's in writing, it's in your hand, but it's no good if you don't know how to interact it, because you have to make them accept it, because they violate it on a regular basis, And if he didn't know it and I didn't know it, I would have been turned around and walking out the door.
So local 308 members, go to the 241 meetings, sit in, listen, ask questions if you need to, but participate, because this is the same union, it's a different local, and it really, ultimately, we should be one. And that is at least the goals of one of the goals of the Justice Coalition, is for an eventual unification of bus and rail ATU members.
Your contract, no matter what your union officials try to tell you, your contract 308, 241 is negotiated together. The only difference in those contracts are working conditions. But your benefit, wages, and health and pension is aligned. They do it together. They don't do it on one day and do it on another day. No, 241 and 308 are joined at the hip. We got 15 other locals on the property, and 241 and 308 is the only one that's together. The contract is negotiated together.
And this is something called unity, right? Mm-hmm. And you have unity. In order to have unity, you need to have harmony. But harmony is not to conform. Can you imagine if we have a band, right? He plays one type of horn, maybe I play a different type of horn, and so plays a guitar, someone's on the drums, but we're all at the same note. You won't hear anything. It's just noise. right? But when we play our different notes in harmony, you have something beautiful,
Music,
enjoyable,
labor,
it brings people
organization.
together. And this is in actually, again, our ATU Constitution, our Local 308, Local 241 bylaws, where we have to encourage and promote harmony. We actually have to ensure it.
Participation.
So when we have these different tiers of part-time and full-time doing the same job, this is not harmony. This is strife. And we have to fight this. We have to. Because the purpose of having the part-time jobs is not so much to save money against one particular budget, but it's to bring everybody's wages down, including the full-time, including the retirees. You think because you're retiring next year that you just have to sit and be quiet and it's not going to make a difference because you're going to get yours? I guarantee it. It happened with a very large portion of the Teamsters, where UPS or Yellow Freight or whatever it was said, we're going to go after your pension now. So you think your pension is safe. It is not.
No.
Full-time workers, you think your job is safe. It is not.
Go ask a retiree who retired 10 years ago, when was the last time you got an increase? He not going to be able to tell you. And then, when was it, and also you can say, well, have you got increases in your health pension contributions and payout? He going to tell you yes. So he ain't getting no more money, but he getting increases in his pension. When it used to be free, now they paying hundreds of dollars, and they paying deductibles when they used to have to pay all this stuff. So don't think you're getting away when you retire.
No. We have to fight together. Retirees, active members, the Justice Coalition, Brother Andre, myself, there's other core organizers. We're inviting you. We're being blatant about it now because President Dixon, President Hill have showed us what they have. Okay, and we appreciate them doing whatever they've done. But now it's time for us as members to step up. When we're inviting all of you that may be watching, join with us or form your own organization to reform our union.
The Justice Coalition website got all the information that any member could ever want to need if he want to learn. You can't. I'm just keeping it real. You can't go nowhere with Keith and Dixon. They with the company. So you got to take your union back. You got the union officials, your union presidents. They giving you CTA's proposal, and they refusing to give you your own proposal. They refusing to tell you when the contract is going to be done, so you can read it, and vote on it. Are they going to give you 3 days to read it? Are they going to give you a month to look it over? They don't even want you to see it. They want to ram this money in your face, while the other hand is going to be taking kind of benefits, costs, pension from you, making it where the new people not going to have no future.
Look at the cynicism of this entire charade. Okay, and that's what it is. Yep. President Dixon didn't put the ATU contract proposal items online or sneak it or leak it. He put our employers' ridiculous proposals. Yeah. So then he said, well, if you want to know what we are doing, then you have to come to the meeting. But everybody's not going to do that. Why not make it simple and just put it online? And by the way, in this video, in the description, we have everything that we're talking about for you. It's all viewable. And you don't have to download anything. And you don't have to turn it and rotate it, and be like this with your phone, like, oh, what? No, we make it simple for you at the Justice Coalition.
They could have gave it to the union reps to hand it to you.
At least.
Instead of having this ridiculous meeting that they had.
At least.
Where they're going to hand it to you and read it to you. And then the union reps, they get a pass by saying, we don't know we don't have any information.
At least.
That's not acceptable.
At least. And it's so sad that when we talk with our union presidents, right, their answer is, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But then when we talk to our reps and our stewards, they're like, I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know.
That's unacceptable.
I don't know. When it comes to the contract, it's so sad. And what did Keith Hill say at the last union meeting? He said they're not allowed
to give you information.
Yeah, and then he said he'll probably give us an update in August.
But guess what?
Right?
Some rallies that the members put together put a little fire under his belly. It made him come on with it. But he had to come on. He came on with the wrong information. He came on with CTA's information. So we're not finished, members. We're gonna keep on pressing him until he give us the correct information from what the members have, because it's something in there that the members finna lose big time as you get your 11.5% proposal and your $10,000 pandemic proposal, which, you know, is somewhere along the line. It's something big in it for the CTA that's going to take away from the members' future.
Okay, so regarding that, most of the 308 proposal items, now Keith Hill hasn't released any of it, and Mark Weems made it clear at our meeting that Keith Hill did not want anyone to know about what 241 is dealing with because of Keith Hill. Okay, Keith Hill did not want...
Out of respect for Keith Hill.
Out of respect for Keith Hill. Now, interestingly, you know, I saw Keith Hill. He didn't see me at the Walmart in Orland Park. Hang on, I'm gonna plug this baby in.
You just said it was full.
The battery was full, y'all, but here we go. It's this video. Takes a lot of energy.
Okay, back online?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So sorry everybody. So enough of that stuff. So here's the deal, everybody. Here's the deal. We are getting sick at work.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge, being sick far outstrips FMLA. Okay? So there's people being sick. Productivity's through the roof throughout the country. Okay? So it's not that people tell you it's because we're lazy. But when your schedules are tighter, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, for the rail side, it hasn't changed since we had conductors. It's still like the schedules are just like we had 2-person crews. On the bus side, you have far less time between your trips.
Right. Stress.
What did it go?
It went from like 20 minutes to 30 minutes. Now we're down to like 4 minutes at the end of the line, 7 minutes at the end of the line.
You see?
I mean, what do a person supposed to do with that?
So you brothers and
being
sisters,
scrutinized, going to the bathroom, you know, you
bus
gotta
and
feel
rail.
like,
bus and rail, brothers and
should
sisters.
I go to the bathroom or not?
Brothers and sisters, bus and rail, please do not repeat or regurgitate this crap line that we are lazy. Okay? We're not lazy. We're suffering.
Yep.
Okay? And we suffer through this pandemic. And we have to organize. We have to have protests. All of you need to organize protests, not just the Justice Coalition, because between the handful of us organizers, we can barely do one.
Yep.
Right? But if more of you step up and then we join with you, right? Mm-hmm. And we support you, it makes it easier because we're all carrying the burden.
Yeah.
So the facts are that we will not get a strong contract from our union leadership.
Nope.
It's not going to get any better than this. It's just going to get worse. So what do? Where do we go from here? What we are presenting to you is we have to make our own contract. In the video description is a link to something called the workers' contract. Mm-hmm. This is not Brother Eric and Brother Andre's contract. It is actually based on the contract proposal meetings. 5 of them that President Franklin held 2 years ago. Over 2 years ago. And dozens and dozens of conversations with coworkers, bus and rail, where Andre and I would scour to look on Facebook groups to see what people are complaining about.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll put them with questions. Well, what do you think it should be? What do you think? What's the solution? And then we plug it in, what they want. And we try to give them credit if they want credit for it. And then we put it in a spreadsheet. The workers' contract. If we build a contract as the members that we have a stake in, that all of us have a stake in, we'll be willing to fight for it and organize. Mm-hmm. We need to be at the bargaining table. We need to be on the street, and we need to be at the bargaining table. And when I say we, I'm not talking about just the president and the lawyers and the vice president. I'm talking about you and me. We need to democratically elect representatives from each and every classification, as tiny as the motor blower classification to as big as the bus operator classification. And we need to do that through participating in our union meetings. 241-308 members, you must go to the meetings now.
Participate.
You must participate. You must pass motions. And you must second motions. And you must come and vote on those motions to put the members in control of the union so that we can allocate money of our unions to public protests and direct action.
And you got to start being willing to get ready to take the streets. If you're not visible, you don't have any issues.
Because we did it in 308. Ken Franklin, believe it or not, last union meeting, check this out. He just brought it up. I'd like to bring up a motion that we have a barbecue. And everybody's like,
$10,000.
$10,000 for a barbecue. Even during the pandemic. Pandemic's not over.
Not $10 for organizing material. Not $10 to put things out on the street, buttons.
Me to update the phone. The software on the phone. Okay, everybody. Let's see. It should be back on. My phone is trying to update itself. Don't update iPhone, please. Anyways, so they laughed at me, and that's okay. People laugh at me all the time, and I love to laugh at myself in the union meetings because I'm hilarious. I'm funny looking, I'm a nerd, and I'm a little stupid. So it's kind of funny. But the sad thing is that there were members in that meeting who thought that that was BS. But because everyone was saying yay, and it was Ken Franklin, and maybe they like him for some reason, that's fine. They didn't want to say nay. Mm-hmm. But imagine, which we've done on many occasions, me or you bring up a motion for $10,000 for a strike fund. $10,000 for a button campaign where we would wear buttons that says, I'm ready to fight for a fair contract and full-time jobs. Anything. Just come up with anything.
Speaking of buttons, this week I was out at 51st in Forestville at the hospital with the SEIU workers, and they had little stickers for their workers and people who supported them as they went back. And the people put the stickers on their shirts. I had put the sticker on there, I'd rather be striking, on their shirt. Little simple stuff like that.
And we can do this as a union. If it is authorized at the union meeting, you don't think, brothers and sisters, that you go to a union meeting to ask the president if you can do something. That's not how it works. That's how it's been done.
Yep.
Because we think that they're our boss and they're in charge because we elect them to tell us what to do because we're too stupid. Because that's what they want us to think. No, actually, we go to the union meetings to tell them what we need them to do for us. Okay, to help us do. Okay, please allocate this money for this and this and this. Because now they got PPP loans to pay for the payroll. So now out of the general fund, as they were saying they would do,
they should be paying for organizing.
For organizing, right? Yeah. Now, mind you that efforts to organize have been continuously brought up at Local 308 and Local 241, and the leadership continues to go, no. Now is our chance.
The only ones who've been organizing in Local 241 and Local 308 are the members. This is the last rally at Howard, that was the third rally. The third rally, not the first. That was the third rally. The union rejected all efforts of that rally, but we still kicked it off anyway.
And they promoted fear.
Yep.
They had some of their lapdogs, as Sister Cheryl likes to call them, go out and say that we were going to be fired.
They had their management team just
Yeah.
chase us all around the property like we were stealing money.
Right.
Every time we go to a property, here come the management.
Get out.
Get out.
Get out.
But we still did what we had to do, members, because we know our rights.
And you can do the same thing, and that's why we're doing this. Okay? So let's look real quick at what a real contract is about. So a real contract, when you look at this length of the workers' contract, everything in red is new. Everything that we're getting rid of is stricken through with a line. All right? So let's look at just some real simple stuff. The language. CTA shall. What is shall? What the hell is that shall? What is this, the King James version of the Bible or something like that? You know, we take that out and we say will. Right? You know, what is this with contact information? Why is it the union office is chasing after members when they change classifications or move? They are employees at the CTA.
Yep.
So the CTA should be obligated to pass that information on to the union, to us.
Yep.
What a waste of time, right? That should be in our contract. And that's what's in the workers' contract. Anyone that's injured on duty that person has to be informed. The union presidents have to be informed that there's people injured on duty. Why is that? Why should it be that way? Because our union leadership should know if we're suffering.
Yep.
And we're being hurt by the same old problems. Because it seems a lot of us have back problems, knee problems, and we're injured on duty because of it. The CTA has to update the union within 72 hours whenever a new bulletin is released, a new SOP, a new rule, even a reroute. Why? Because we tend to get messed up.
Yep.
When they have a bus reroute or a train reroute, sometimes the operators screw up.
And
you know, when they go the wrong street, they take the wrong line up, and then they get a full safety.
And sometimes some of these bulletins that come out are unfair to us.
They don't make sense.
Somebody needs to speak up.
Yeah.
About it.
And so we'll have a record of that. All right. Now, interestingly, I wonder if this came from us, but President Dixon brought it up in his proposal that we get the new hires get a full day of union orientation as opposed to an hour. But I brought up at the meeting, we're not even getting our hour. I know new coworkers who never got any kind of union orientation. And the response to that was crickets.
Yeah.
Probationary period. What the hell is this 5-month probationary period? Even the crafts, 134, Local 9, elevator constructors, they don't have 5 months.
Yeah.
They have 3 months. So we say 30 days. 30 days. And by the way, we need to change our bylaws in our locals so that you're not paying union dues. Because guess what? When you're paying union dues while you're on probation, it won't make a difference. They can still fire you.
Yep.
And according to the contract, we can't fight to get you back.
Yep.
Why should people be paying union dues?
It don't make any sense.
You see what I'm saying? You know, for orientation, we need to have union history. Learn about the laws, how to submit grievances and workplace complaints. Let's go forward to Article 3. All right? Here is some stuff. We need 3% increases. 3% increases for every 6 months. That's it. Keep it simple. And by the time you get to the 5th one, by the time you get to the last one, it should be high at 5%. This is ridiculous. You know, everybody, every company in the universe budgets for 2.5% wage increases. Unions don't settle for don't follow what everyone else is doing that's crappy. They innovate. They lead. Top rate. Everyone should be able to get top operator rate. Operator is like the ceiling of all of this. So everyone should be able to get that. No matter what. You a janitor, you a trackman, whatever. It should be nothing in the way of that. The progression, it's too long. It's too long.
5 years.
5 years. It's ridiculous to get to 100. No, 3. Temporary employees, the FTT, gone. Workers' contract, gone. That's a bunch of crap. That's the worst thing. We got co-workers who are FTT. They are suffering. They get nothing, no vacation, no benefits, no family health insurance. That's gone.
Part-time for 8 years don't make no sense.
Yeah. And then they got in some cases now, our union leadership, which is a traitorous act, is going along with making them pick 40 hours as operators, as at least for train operators. Okay, part-time. Article 3.6. We literally took a hatchet to this section. You ought to see it. Simply put, you part-time. CTA wants to hire people on part-time? Fine. But guess what? After 6 months, you going full-time in your classification if you got a clean record. All right? You don't have, but when it comes to sick entries, no. If you're sick, you're sick. You can't be punished for that. Shouldn't be. But we are. But if you're getting procedurals, behaviorals, and safeties, okay, stay on another 3 months. Evaluate again. Okay? And do you build up any more of these things? Get rid of these.
That gives people motivation to do a good job.
Yes. Because I'm like, I don't want that on my record. I'm on a safety for 2 years. Now I'm stuck. Right? All part-timers can earn time off and get holiday pay, a premium. It's all in here. Time and a half for holidays worked. You're a part-timer, you should get that no matter what.
Yep.
The insurance should be the same. Why does it have to be different? Get the same insurance. Let's keep it simple. We don't need a chart here and a chart there.
Equal pay for equal work, equal insurance for equal employees.
Exactly. Now here's the key. Here's the key. Did you know that our contract guarantees the CTA the right to keep a certain amount of people at part-time status? So currently for 241, it's at 25%. 25% of 241 members can be part-time. So in the workers' contract, during the life of the contract, we whittle that down to 15%. And then by 2022, it's to 5%. And then beyond that, it's up to us.
And it should be a time limit on how long a person should be part-time. Plain and simple.
6 months.
It should
keep
be
your record clean.
For 2 years, 8 years, 5 years. Crazy.
These people, these CSAs and these flagmen with 8, 5, 6, 7 years, it's ridiculous. For 308, the part-time quota is 20%. We cut that down to 10% and then 2.5% during the life of the contract. Remember, a contract is 3 years. As far as the sick book goes, if you go in the sick book while you're part-time, you cannot be punished. Because the punishment, the write-up is actually there because you can stay in the sick book and collect sick pay. So what you do when you have a punishment in there, you discourage people from just doing it just to get paid. All right? But no way in the world, when you're part-time, you don't even have enough time to build up FMLA credits. You're screwed. Especially if you're a single parent. You are screwed.
Yep. There's a lot of women work for CTA now with kids.
And this is not in the ATU lawyer's contract. It's not in there, y'all. And I could go on and on and on. Uniform allowance for everybody. Immediately upon qualification, the bus operators, the CSAs, whoever needs a uniform, upon qualification, they can get their voucher. The janitors have a voucher of $150-something. It's ridiculous. We have $800 because they go through pants every day. Yep. They do. It's just a filthy job. On and on. It goes on. So I encourage all of you to get involved. Read about the workers' contract. This is the real contract because this is ours. This is not Eric and Andre's contract. This is stuff that you all talk about, and we just plug it in.
Just go to the website, start reading.
And we have a spreadsheet to track everything, and you can see all the stuff that people have already brought up. And when you see a strike through on it, that means it's already in there. So you're like, oh, that's what I was thinking. Well, it's already done. Now we have to fight for it. Now we have to organize.
Yep. So, you want to, and right now, members, you got these CTA proposals being thrown in your face. You got raises, pandemic pay being thrown in your face. But you don't have your proposals from the union and the union lawyers of what we're going to be dealing with. And that's what you need to ask them when you come to these union meetings. Where's the rest of the members' proposals? And when we're going to have it? When it's going to be completed for us to view? And that's what you need. You need to be able to view this stuff, not be a brush job thrown in your face. Not only the money sent in your face, and then you don't see the rest of it till later on down the line.
Yep.
308, 241. Stop playing games. You need to stop trying to be separate. You need to come together.
Yep.
More than one time. You need to have meetings on a regular basis, more than one time, so the members all can discuss this, all can get together, and all can understand what's going to happen with their livelihood.
And when you have issues that are grievances, and you bring them up to the officers, sometimes the president says, "I'll take care of it." Wait a minute. But this is a problem we keep having. Let's fix it in the contract. That's what the workers' contract is about. That's why you, the member, should be involved in making your contract, not pay someone to do it. They don't know what it's like to work as an operator, a janitor, a repairman, a mechanic, a clerk, a supervisor, an instructor. You know what I mean? A servicer. They don't really know, but you know, and you have grievances. Let's take the grievances and make solutions. Because when coworkers come to me and say, "Hey, we got this problem," it sounds terrible. I'm like, "Good. Let's put this problem. Let's solve it in the workers' contract." Speaking of pandemic, I wanted to bring this up. And they're giving us some garbage, everybody, for that. And what we need to do is we need to have a comprehensive solution regarding a pandemic. And we need to be ready for the next one because it's coming, everybody.
Yep.
More civil unrest, wars, riots, starvation, pandemic. We have to be prepared for this. And our job as a union is to fight. And that's what we should be doing as members by being prepared. So, I just lost it. Okay,
and we need to stop creating poverty in the CTA workforce. We just need to stop it. We need to,
that's the part-time jobs. That's it.
They creating poverty in the CTA and for people to take and live off of and take home back to their communities.
Yeah.
This used to be a career job, a good job, and it's just not like it used to be. And we need to fight to get that back.
And it's like you can't survive unless you have like you're doing DoorDash and Uber and whatever else, and you're doing a little side business, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But really, you can't build wealth on a part-time job. You can't invest in property and then rent a building. You know what I mean? You just can't. It's real hard. I guess you could figure out some way, but I don't know. So here's part of the problem: is whenever there's an incident like there was a riot, fed by a pandemic, they'll shut down the system, right? Mm-hmm. Then what happens is the workers are stranded, and then they have to figure out a way to get home safely. But if there's no bus or trains, they can't. Mm-hmm. So we got to put that on our employer. The employer got to make sure they got to use their vehicles and drive us to our homes. Because a lot of us were stranded. Little simple stuff like that. A mental health day. In the workers' contract, every 241-308 worker gets 1 day off with no pay, but no disciplinary action once a month. They can use it or not use it. But they must be used no later than 12 hours before you report to work.
And all y'all know, we need that day. You
need it. Once a day, you'll say, okay, no pay, but I don't need to deal with Read Group and the sick book and a manager and then the clerk getting stuck in between the manager and me.
And discipline.
Yeah, I'm calling in my mental health day. Boom.
We
nice.
just need to
That's
You
it.
need a stress-free
Keep
day
it
sometime from this job. This job is just way through the roof now.
Pandemic scheduling plan. Why are we calling Article 4.19 in the workers' contract pandemic scheduling plan? What happened is that the CTA was successful doing this with Keith Hill, not so much with Ken Franklin. But what they did is, because of the pandemic, they took an advantage of that and started violating seniority, picking rights. So when you picked,
I picked, and they removed me and put me on the board, and I refused. So that's, you know.
and he grieved, you grieved it.
I grieved. I was
You won the
suspended.
grievance. You were suspended.
Yeah.
You won it.
Lost pay.
You eventually won it, but it took a year.
Took a year. And then the union must have tampered with my grievance somehow, because I only got 4 hours when I asked for my entire pay. So I don't know what took place, but the grievance said something totally different than what I wrote. So we have to deal with that later. But, you know, this is the type of stuff.
But that wouldn't be an issue if we had something in the contract.
Right.
That's the point.
Okay.
They'd be like, well, they can't do nothing. We on the rail side, we were lucky. We had some supervisors who the managers tried to do that with picking operators, and the supervisors said no. They didn't cooperate. So regarding hazard pay, so-called hazard pay, so we call it pandemic premium. And the pandemic premium hazard pay must be offered to all of us who are on duty during a state or federally declared pandemic, state of war, or natural disaster. This premium is 3 times your straight pay. They want to give us like what, $10,000 or something like that. Don't make it complicated.
Right.
Keep it simple. You want hazard pay? It's 3 times.
And guess what? That employer come work on a regular basis because he know what he finna get. You know.
They're coming.
They gonna come.
They're 3 times.
They'll
They'll wear a
people not
spacesuit.
coming to work, not feeling
Yeah.
around, because people
Yeah.
didn't want to work in this stuff. People wanted to be safe, so
Yeah.
they took off as much as they could.
Yeah. So they don't
and
bring
some
it on.
people got sick from this stuff, and so they had to take off.
Now, as long as, and here's the other key about this contractual article, is that the premium is enforced. During this pandemic, if there's an infection rate of 2% or greater within a 50-mile radius of the CTA PACE and Metro service area, and that includes war and natural disaster. Okay, so we need to be clear. Because otherwise they're going to say, well, it's not a pandemic anymore. See, everyone got a vaccine. No, is the infection rate below 2%.
Right.
Once it's that way, then, sorry, no more hazard pay. Put your spacesuit away.
Right.
Okay? We have all kinds. We just got so much.
And remember, you see how we're discussing proposals for the membership?
Yeah.
And this is what it's going to take. You know, we shouldn't have union leaders throw proposals for the CTA in our face and try to scare the shit out of us, where everybody feel like they're finna lose something.
Yeah.
We should be discussing what we want.
Yeah.
And this, you see, this takes time, and so this is something that we have to demand as members, and this should be ongoing before it's time for a vote or arbitration. You know,
Sick days, all this stuff. This is scary stuff to the mayor when we talk like this. This is scary stuff to the CTA board of directors, okay? We should be scaring them, President Dixon and President Hill. What the hell? Why do you want to spook us out?
right?
I mean, me and Andre know what the game is. We know what the hustle is, okay? But a lot of us don't. So we just get upset, right?
More stress.
More
when you
stress.
go to work.
And thank you very much for making us more sick. Okay, so what we're encouraging you to do is go to the workers' contract and look what we're doing with swings. You got to be paid straight time during that interval. Sorry, I can't do much. Okay, fine. If I go to the workout club, I go take a nap, I still got to be paid because I'm still on duty. I got to be at work at a 4-hour swing. I still got to be at work. 2-hour swing. No, you're going to pay us. You're going to pay us. Because that's stress, man.
Yeah.
To know you're not paid for that 4 hours. Okay? The sick days. Everyone earns personal paid sick days. Everyone. And we can use it whenever we want. We don't have to deal with read crew. We just tell the manager, this is my sick day. They say, okay, that's one, and they scratch it off on the list. And if you need to be out more than that, well, hell yeah, you're going to have to get some leave.
Yep.
But man, most of us catch a cold. We're out for 2 days, maybe 3. At the most, if it's like stomach upset.
Mm-hmm.
But why? Why do we have to go through all this crap? What happens, brothers and sisters, is what they're doing is they're putting administrative human resources work on us. So you're spending sometimes hours dealing with you being sick.
Yep.
To administer crap with regroup Sedgwick or whatever.
You a bus driver, all of a sudden now you gotta become a secretary because you're sick. It doesn't make no sense.
Pages and pages of documentation you're doing, and then
They
you still got to.
They don't even want to mail them to you no more. You gotta go to the computer and download them. It's still silly. You're not feeling good.
And your phone, you got to read all this crap on your phone, and your head is pounding because you got all this snot in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but this is the stuff we have to have. You know, even little stuff like customer assistant airport premium. All these CAs working at Midway and O'Hare actually give directions to the airlines. They help the airlines.
Mm-hmm.
They should be paid $1 more an hour for being there. But this kind of stuff that I'm telling you is not my idea. It's your idea. But when we bring this up to the union officers, guess what? If they don't like it, they're not going to bring it up. They have to like it. Why is that? Why would I have any interest in fighting for a contract? And that's what the union leadership is telling us, right? They were saying, support us.
Yep.
Support us. Here, take this and pass it out to all your coworkers and support us. No, you support us.
Right.
That's what it should be. Okay, you support us. Anything else you want to say? I guess we'll try to wrap it up.
Yeah. Well, what I'm gonna say is, you all need to get to the union meetings, start attending. You all need to start reading your Constitution and your bylaws. You all need to start demanding for your contract now, the proposal, and when it's going to be done for you to read, and when it's going to be done for you to vote on. And at the end of the day, you can't do a thing with the current leadership part is, if you really want to be a union, these guys can't deliver it for you because they belong to the CTA.
Yeah.
And the CTA not going to give them back to us. So we got to just take the union from the CTA. We're going to have to take the union from President Hill. We got to take the union from President Dixon.
And the lawyers.
It's real simple. And the lawyers. That's why they always there. They done stole the local. So we just take it back. Come on, people.
That's it.
Real simple. Learn your rights. Learn your rights. And look around at the other unions. Look around. They're on the corners. They out there striking. They out there protesting. 1 day strike. What are you doing? You won't even come to the union meeting. Come to the union meeting, learn what you're supposed to learn, and take back the union.
And speaking of taking control of the union and taking back, is in our contract, it does govern some issues with the local. And it makes sure when you're in the contract, it says if you become a union president or a union officer, even if you're full-time or part-time officer, you have to be guaranteed your job at the CTA when you're done serving your term. So in our contract, we say also, you can volunteer to work. So if you're a full-time officer and you used to be a bus operator, you can work 1 day a week and operate buses if you want, so that you don't forget what it's like to be out there with the people. You a repairman? You don't want to forget what it's like to have to do an annual inspection on the AM, okay? If you're a CA and you become a president or a secretary, or a janitor and you become a secretary, you don't want to forget what it's like to have to deal with maintenance. We also have in there that once you become a union officer, guess what? The CTA can't hire you into a non-union job. So you can't be a manager.
No going to management. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
So now, if you think being a union officer is a good way to make a nice job as a manager, it's not going to work. You just going to have to just skip that. All kind of stuff we're doing, right? Well, that's about it.
Yep.
We're going to wrap it up. Hope you enjoyed the video. Just remember, we are the union, and we have to take control.
We'll do another Show one day.
Peace. All right.
Okay.